Tonight, I want to have a real conversation about family obligation, marriage guilt, and when helping people starts destroying your own peace. Because a lot of people are living this right now, and nobody wants to say it out loud. There are husbands and wives fighting quietly behind closed doors because one person feels responsible for carrying their parents financially. And listen, this is not a conversation about abandoning your parents. I need people to hear me clearly before emotions take over. I believe family should help family. I believe there are seasons where people struggle. Medical issues happen, layoffs happen. Life can humble anybody. That's not what I'm talking about tonight. I'm talking about repeated dysfunction. I'm talking about situations where grown parents continue making poor decisions over and over. And now their adult children feel trapped into becoming the permanent solution. And eventually that pressure spills into the marriage. Because now one spouse feels guilty and the other spouse feels drained. One person says that my mom and dad, that they'll say that's my mom and dad, right? The other person says, but what about us? And honestly, both people usually feel justified. That's what makes this conversation hard. A lot of men especially were raised with this deep belief that saying no to their parents means they're selfish or disloyal. So they keep helping, keep paying, keep rescuing, and keep sacrificing, even when it starts damaging their own household. And sometimes the spouse starts feeling like they're competing with guilt they can never win against. That creates resentment. That's what that does. Now, the marriage starts carrying stress that didn't even start inside the marriage. And another thing people don't want to admit, sometimes parents become emotionally dependent on their children's financially. Not because they can't change, but because somebody keeps rescuing them before they ever have to. That's where helping can quietly turn into enabling. And people hate that word. But enabling is real. Because if nobody's ever forced to change, why would they? Some adult children are delaying retirement, destroying savings, fighting constantly in marriage, taking on debt, trying to save parents who never learned financial discipline themselves. That's exhausting emotionally. And then here's the part nobody wants to touch. Sometimes the child helping the most is trying to earn love, approval, or acceptance they never fully received growing up. So helping becomes deeper than money. Now it's emotional. Now saying no feels like betrayal. Now boundaries feel like guilt. And a lot of people watching this understand exactly what I'm talking about. Then you have the spouse sitting there wondering, when do we get to build our life? That's the tension. Because marriage requires unity. Marriage requires protection. Marriage requires building something together. And if one person constantly feels like the marriage comes second to extended family problems, eventually frustration starts building. Now listen carefully, because I don't want this twisted. I'm not saying never help your parents. Some parents truly need support. Some sacrificed everything for their children. Some deserve help and honor. Understand that. But there has to be a balance. There has to be boundaries. There has to be accountability somewhere, right? Because love should not destroy your household. Love should not create bitterness inside of your marriage. Love should not require your spouse to silently suffer forever. And I think this is one of the hardest parts about adulthood nobody prepares us for. Learning the difference between honoring people and carrying people. Those are not always the same thing. And sometimes the hardest sentence a grown adult ever learned to say is, I love you, but I cannot continue destroying my household to fix choices you refuse to change. That sentence comes with guilt. It comes with pain. It comes with conflict. But sometimes boundaries are necessary for survival. And I think more families need honest conversations about this before resentment destroys marriages completely. Because some people are quietly drowning, trying to save everybody else. And eventually, something breaks. It's just the way it is. Listen, I appreciate you guys rocking with me tonight. My name is Aaron Real Talk. You guys make sure to like, follow, and share. If you can, please leave me a comment and let me know, are you dealing with this currently in your marriage?